Welcome engineers back to another episode of Automated. Our global leaderboard ranking has updated. We are now top 25, yay. I don't think there's a lot of players yet, that's why we're ranked so high. Yeah, we got a long way to go to get to the top sort of 10 position, but that's fine. Let's continue on with our campaign. We are up to World 2, level 9, Suns out, modules out. Let's do it. Alright, so we need to make 45 advanced solar modules in 2 minutes. An advanced solar module crafts at 60 per minute with no alternate recipe, so we just need one manufacturer at the very end. Our map looks absolutely insane, so I guess the process is just very, very, very long, as we can see from this process map. Let's find the easiest process to do this, so there's no choice for that. To make the advanced solar panels, we need to make the solar cell, which we did in a previous episode. Is there an easier way to make the solar cell? We can do it with this method, which requires 2 items, or we can just do it with this one method. That's fine. The crystalline solution thing, there's this or this, which I think that was the easier way to do it. We've never made the aluminium frame before, but let's have a look. We can either make it in a dissolution chamber, which makes 30 per minute, but we need 60, so that would require 2 dissolution chambers. Let's just make sure this is making it at the correct output for this. Or we can do it in the advanced cutter, which makes the 60 that we need with 1 advanced cutter. That sounds easier to me. We can either cut the aluminum or advanced cutter the aluminum, but the cutter needs 120 and makes 60. So we need 2 cutters, but we need to input 240 into the cutter. Fine, and then we get the press that turns 60 into 120. Then to make the aluminum coating, we can either do it in a welder, or we can do this crazy process in a dissolution chamber, which makes 60, or we can do it in 4 welders. I think we need this thing to do it in 2 dissolution chambers, I think. Or we can do it in 4 welders using this much aluminum. Look how much aluminum we need. Let's even calculate how much aluminum we need. We need 120 aluminum, 120 here. I don't even think we have enough aluminum. There's aluminum there. There's aluminum there. And there's aluminum there. All right, we definitely have enough aluminum. So I think each of these sections is almost telling us to do each one of these processes. So why don't we start out with making this top process? Because we're pretty sure the solar cell is made this way, in a welder. So we just need 1 welder at the end of the day. Let's just put 1 welder down somewhere. And then let's figure out the base materials required to make this. This requires silicon, it requires heavy water, and it requires aluminum. So we've got aluminum and silicon here and heavy water down here. So we'd have to bring the heavy water all the way up, which is going to be very expensive. What's the alternate recipe for this? By using oil or light oil. That's sulfuric acid. What do we need sulfuric acid for? Nothing. But the oil is also down here. Let's think about this for a second. Is there anywhere else with silicon? No. So we just bring the heavy water up to the top to do this, because the final delivery is over here. So at the end of the day, we just need some sort of like manufacturer down here somewhere. Let's just pop one down, and we need to input the 3 things, like 1 from probably each section of the map. But bringing the heavy water up is going to be very expensive. So we need the heavy water into a biofluxer. Let's just do that. That gets us our gas, deuterium. Deuterium needs to go into another biofluxer to make liquid deuterium. And we know we need to space these out by 1 to get the pipe to go downwards. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. There is our liquid deuterium. Our liquid deuterium then needs to go mix with the silicon. So we need to now bring this up somewhere along here. And that's done in a dissolution chamber. So say we did this here. It's going to move this out of the way for now. So we need to get our water pipe out this way. And then somehow line this up and go down. Something like this, like that. There's our water pipe that goes all the way up and across, and that makes us our first component, polycrystalline silicon, which needs to go into a welder with the aluminum, which needs to come out at 120. 120 becomes 120 in a cutter, but a cutter can only cut 60, but it requires 120. So we need 2 cutters, something like this. Then this 120 needs to go into a welder with this thing. Like that. And that. There's our 60 of our first component, which then needs to go into the manufacturer. Something like this. There's our first component in. And get that going the right way. And that's it. That's our first component into the manufacturer. Wasting a lot of this stuff. We're only using 240 out of the 300 there. But it's one component down. Let's try another component. This next component uses only aluminum. The volumes are a little bit strange. So using only aluminum, let's see what we can do. So 240, we can split into 2 120 belts. That gets us our 120 of that. And then we need to press 60 of this into 120 of this. That doesn't work. 300 divides into... That's not enough. This is even less. 3 belts of 60. 3 belts of 100. Is there an alternate recipe for this? No. Wait, sulfuric acid. That uses less aluminum. Right? Because then we only need 60 aluminum now. That's still okay. And now we'll have 100 aluminum coming out of here, of which we can use 60 in a press. And that gets us our 120 that we need. Of which we only needed 30. But this only makes 30 per minute. So this would require 2 dissolution chambers. Which is fine, because we can build 2 dissolution chambers. Here and here. And that gets the 60 per minute into each one. The 30 per minute needs to split in half. So we might as well build our lift like here. So the 120 needs to come out here. But then it needs to split into 2 belts. Oh man, if only I could put a splitter somewhere better. Let's just get it working first. So ideally we want to split it like this, but then we get 2 belts doing this, which is just insanity. And the final thing is this liquid sulfuric acid. So we would need to get a pipe going this way. And then the pipe would need to go all the way along here somewhere into here. Like down here. Under here. And then like into here. I can't even see what's going on over here. Like that. And that's not even the right input. We've got that, that, and that. Why doesn't that make my item? It does. 30 and 30, which is our 60. So this is a method of doing this. So we would need something like this. And then there's our second input. Like that. So that's our 60 per minute of the aluminum frame done. And now we just need to do the final one, which would require 120 of these. So if we did it in 4 welders, or we did it in 2 dissolution chambers. But doing it in 2 dissolution chambers requires water and salt, which we have here. That's obviously the way we're doing it. And we got so much more power. Because not doing it in 4 welders, we don't have enough aluminum. So let's make this thing first, this water and salt mix, to make our liquid chloride. We've done this a million times, so I'm going to go through it quite quickly. We'll get a dissolution chamber, go and say here. We'll get our thing in here, our liquid in here. What's your problem? 180, all right. Am I doing something wrong? Water and salt? Oh, this is aluminum. This is not salt. What? Where's my salt? We don't have salt on this map. Is that salt? Yeah, that's salt. Damn it. Our salt is over here. And our water is over here. Oh my god. Let's just start in the middle then. Do I need a thing here? Can I just go straight in from the salt? These are actually on the same level. I'm gonna go up straight away, and then we're gonna go around. This is definitely not the optimal solution, but that's fine. Then we need to biofluxor this into chloride. We'll connect the water back in at the end. So the liquid in goes in with the liquid in. Like that. And there's our chloride. Now we need to bioflux that into liquid chloride. There we go. There's our liquid chloride. Our liquid chloride needs to go into 2 dissolution chambers with the aluminum. So I can't bring the salt back around this way, can I? I could. No, I can't. There's no way to bring the salt around this way. So we would have to do the rest of this process along here. But we still need to do the press and the furnace for this. So we just need 60-60. But this makes 60 into 120. Of which we only need 60. So we don't even need all 180 of this. If we just did that, and then we furnaced... Oh, we go over here, and then we furnaced 1. That gets our 60 of that we need. No, but we need double of all this. We need 120 of this, and 120 of this. So we do need all 3 bits. Oh, we can put the furnace in like this, direct right under it. There's one furnace. We need another furnace, like that. And then we need a press. Like that. There's our 120, 120. And we need that going into 2 dissolution chambers. It's gonna be a tight fit. There and there. So we can get this one going into, say, there. Let's move it out one more. No. If we put it this way, nope, that's not gonna work. If we put it like here, we can merge these outputs and then split them. Or, hear me out, we can put this one into there. This one into a splitter, and that gives us enough space for a tiny little lift, like that. This almost seems too perfect. It's not perfect, but it's almost good enough. There, like that. Now we need the liquid input, which is just this liquid chloride. So let's get a pipe going like that, and the liquid chloride is over here. Can we weave it underneath? No, because of the pipe. So we need to go up 2. And then we need to weave it over. And then down. And that gets us our output. To which we need to then lift it over to this manufacturer. Like this. I have no idea what the height of this is. That's too low. So one more higher. Like that. And that gets us to our manufacturer. Wait. Let's build it from this side. So the lift needs to be 1 lower. It doesn't like this. try a different direction. Can't I put a stand here? What's this crossing? It's crossing this pipe. That pipe is annoying. What if we get rid of... Oops. What if we get rid of this pipe and do it a slightly different way? That doesn't increase things too much. Because this level intercepts this level, right? So what if I go up one more tile? And then we go across here. And then we connect it. Okay, that still works. Now that leaves this thing's belt available. Because now we can go around this side. Right? And by being able to go around this side, we can now go across here. We did it! It's a working, functional design. How's our power? 1028. Alright. That's a lot over power, but we can optimize later. Let's see if we've done this in 1:30 or less. This isn't even working. It takes ages to wear up. 37 seconds to get started. But let's see what the results say. Well, we got 4 stars straight up. We just got to do the same solution with less power. Alright, that's fine. I think the first immediate benefit I see is actually instead of using 2 biofluxes to make liquid deuterium, we can just use 1 distillation column to make heavy oil, and that works exactly the same way, right? So let's try that optimization. That should save us a little bit of power. I'm trying to keep most of this pipe. I've never used a distillation column before, I don't think. Is it massive? No, it's tiny. Can we just slam it straight onto here? We can. And then we just need to connect it to this pipe. The heavy oil is the purple one, which is down here. And that connects to that. And everything works exactly the same way. And immediately we've saved ourselves a ton of power. Let's just validate this still works. Okay, that still works, and our power is now 992. So we just need to find some more optimization somewhere. The next thing is we're using this cooked ass recipe for some reason because we thought we didn't have enough aluminum down here, but we actually do have enough aluminum. So why do we need to use this super complex recipe if we can just delete this entire thing, delete all of this? And we don't need to do this in a dissolution chamber, we can just do this in an advanced cutter. Let me just get rid of all of this. Then we don't need these. And we've got our 60, 60. If we put 120 and 120 into an advanced cutter. So we just need to merge these. And then we just need an advanced cutter. And then we just need to put the advanced cutter like here. And bring this thing out. We don't even need a splitter here. We just need to bring the 120 straight into here. Get this at the right height. Bring that in, and that gets us our 60. Why did we have to do that in the most awkward and annoying way possible? There we go. That still works as well, and now our power's at 782 again. What? Why did we do this in the dumbest way possible? Let's just do that. Does this still work though? Maybe this will screw up with our time though. I feel like it should be faster though. I feel like we hit the time. Alright, so this optimization was very simple. We just started off with the wrong recipes for some weird reason. That puts us at number 14 on time and number 4 on power. Amazing. and number 5 on space. So our time isn't the best, but doing well on power and space. Great. Let's have a look at some of the other 5-star solutions. This one uses way less power. How much power are we using? 782. We got a solution down here that uses 634 power. That looks hyper optimized. He's using the oil, like us. He's bringing the oil up to the top and doing that process. And then he's bringing that down. But he's using dissolution chambers here? Or is that an advanced cutter? I can't really tell from this angle. And then over this side, he's doing something really wacky. He's not using the dissolution chambers down here. He's making it all out of the simpler method as well. Because these are 4 welders, right? So he's not doing the water piping at all. He's just doing 4 welders down here. Apparently there's enough iron. Apparently this thing spits out enough aluminum to do this process using this process. You just need to furnace it. And then you should be enough for 4 welders along here and then just bring it up. All right, so you can even optimize this even further if you wanted to. But, you know, we've got our 5-star solution, so we're going to leave it here. I'll leave you guys to do this for homework.